Hey everybody, it's Chris Steele here with Richard Learmont and Leda Snyder. How's everybody doing?
Hey everyone,
Hey, thanks,
doing good.
Chris.
Yeah.
Good.
I think the topic for the moment in this brief vignette is, as we're all business leaders and everything, it's about how the imperative is to plan, develop a plan, and follow a plan, and get results from your plan, right? So let's put that on the table and kind of pick it apart a little bit. What are your thoughts, Elena, in the context of a plan?
Oh, maybe Richard should go first. I'm really open to this one. I've got a plan, I've got my to-do list, but then I follow the flow. So and then I come back and I follow the flow. And sometimes we hear that that's wrong, right? So for me, I'm really interested in exploring with you guys defining this. Like we probably all define this differently, but we talk more about having the plan rather than defining it and what it actually means, and how Chris's plan and way of doing that is different than Richard's and mine.
Well,
And
when
then if you
you
start doing that, how do you know that you need to change it or make it better for you?
well, if you and continue what you were saying, what do you mean by plan? What is it? What is plan to you? What are you referring to in plan? Are you referring to the plan of your personal life, or are you talking about the plan of your business?
Let's even get simpler than that, like a plan for the day.
Interesting. So let me let
Okay.
me let me just tell you what's going on in my psychology. For me, as a pragmatic business guy, I'm all about strategic planning, right? That's one of the services that I offer, is what is your strategic plan for your business? So if you think about what that means, it's about direction. It's about actually having a path forward. And I think, at least in the context of business effectiveness, it's really important that we have a plan, because it's like a rudder on a boat, right? You're for me, business is kind of a metaphorical boat, a vessel, a ship, a dinghy, a yacht, whatever the metaphor is for your business, right? And if you don't have a rudder, who knows where you're going to go? You're going to go somewhere. But yeah, whether it be a long-term strategic business plan, 5-year plan, 1-year plan, whatever, or even a plan for the day. And here's my plan for the day, right? It's in front of me, right? I write it down, and I was like, this is my punch list. It's my to-do list. So from my perspective, that's what, and I think it's important to have a plan, but kind of backing you up, Elena, it's also important to not get wrapped around the axle, because if all of a sudden your rudder is so staunch and so directed, and then all of a sudden the winds of change come up, and if you don't adjust your rudder and adjust your plan, the wind's going to blow your boat over and you're going to tip over. I mean, it's a good metaphor, but I think it's important to plan, but it's also important to allow for flexibility in a plan throughout the day or throughout the year or throughout your life. There's a context. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I asked the question: is it personal, or is it for business? So certainly for your business, yes, a plan is absolutely necessary. To have your projections, to have your vision, your direction, and all of these things. Where are we going? What's you need a map. And for our personal lives, we have a personal map. It's encoded in us. But in terms of like having a plan for my personal life, where am I going? I have a vision. I want to build a business, and there's certain things I want to accomplish in my life. Certain goals I want to reach, certain things like that. But in terms of the plan for getting to it, getting like I agree with what Chris is saying. Having any kind of rigidity in it, I've always seen that these plans have blown up. You know, made a plan. This is where I'm going. This is what I want to do. I want to be this next, that, and this, and I'm on this, this trajectory of what I think I should be doing on my plan to getting there. And, they've all blew up pretty much, you know? And so I've changed, that perspective in having this plan for my life. It's like, what they say, a plan makes God laugh, something like that,
Yeah, what does it say? If you want to make God laugh, tell her your plan.
Tell your plan, right? Exactly. So, it's, the point is that when I switch that into honoring what my inner authority is, you know, of how I'm here to make decisions. That's the plan. The plan is, you know, life is happening to me all the time. And yes, you know, for my business, I do create a plan. It's like how to, you know, it's something a little different. This is an exterior thing from me. This is a thing I'm working on, working with other people. It needs a direction in terms of, you know, how to drive that, you know, guide the business. But for my personal life, it's about truly trusting my inner authority and making these decisions from that inner knowing that's in there. And it knows. It's already been designed for me, and so I learned to tap into it from that place.
Mm.
Does that answer your question? About does that?
Yeah, yeah, I have a follow-up.
Okay.
So when we talk about a business plan, a lot of times we're projecting, right? And the only way that we can, or the most common way for us to project is to look at what was. But for all of the new business owners, there wasn't a what was. So when we need to project, we're kind of left like, well, wait, it doesn't really make sense to look at the sales last month, or you don't really know. So I feel like there's a lot of this context, this box that you're supposed to fit in for a plan, but you don't have a lot of the information that you might need to make the traditional type plan. I'm using these words kind of traditional, I don't know if that's really right, but this is what I'm seeing, and as I'm deciding what I want and asking myself what I want and what I want for the people that I'm working with. It's an interesting kind of paradigm to be in terms of what that looks like. What do you guys think?
Well, it's funny. Since you put the paradigm out there, I mean, we live in a uncertain paradigm globally right now, and just like Richard said, a lot of people's plans are burning down. Right? I mean, here I was rocking through 2019 and 2020 hit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm surfing a wave, and all of a sudden, what's the cliche? And then COVID hit. The 4 words. So much for that plan. So I think what's important to do is pragmatically is include flexibility in a plan, and include the fact that, you know, something may happen that we have no control over, so that the plan has got a level of resilience so that you can adapt. Because one of the things I'm seeing these days is a lot of people that were so locked into their plan, and all of a sudden it burns down, and it goes, again, things you can't control in the marketplace, and then they get gridlocked and they get paralyzed, and then 6 months pass and they're still paralyzed, and that's not a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think flexibility, you know, not being too rigid, but at the same time having a direction, you know, and realizing, for me, I've got a business that's got a purpose, right? So the purpose of my business has got an intention, and part of that intention is to be able to allow us as leaders to be strong and resilient and resourceful enough to be able to adapt, because that's what I think the essence of leadership is being competent in ways of character that allow for us as leaders to be able to continue to provide direction even when plans burn down, or even when economies go into recession or whatever. So it's kind of where I'm coming from.
So yeah, I see that the main plan always bases around, you know, around your individuality first. You know, you have to understand how to stand in your power at all times, regardless of what's going on around you. First thing. And yes, your plan for your business, it's like having a map. Just like human design offers a map, it's the grid. You know, it's a map, you know, for your life. You know, how you are designed to operate correctly in this world of distortion and of all these energies and stuff you have to navigate through. It's the same thing with your business. You create a plan in which you can guide your business through, you know, all of the competition and distortion that's out there. And so when things are changing, you'll make adjustments. And yeah, you know, if you've been in business for a long time, then you have some reference. You know, if you're not, then you have references from other people, other businesses, the researchers that you're doing out there, of like, you know, how it works. You can still look at other, you know, if it's not your personal experiences, you can still look at experiences of, you know, how it works in the market. It can be still useful information for you, but, you know, having some sort of a map for your business to, you know, like, okay, what are your projections? How much do you want to make per week, per month, per year? And what's the steps you need to take in order to get to those particular numbers, you know? And you start building out from those places. You know, that, I mean, it's the simplest form I'm speaking here of, but we need some sort of a basic map in which to, you know, to be able to drive our, you know, our businesses and intention for succeeding in that world.
Yeah, and choosing the map, right? Because for me, I was chasing the numbers, and numbers don't fuel me. They don't really motivate me. And then I realized that I was using the wrong map. And now I've been able to put that down, and I can pick up one that feels much, much better, much more like me, and I can actually see how things play out. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this too, because like the general sense of map, I feel it as being flexible, but sometimes when I hear the word and the way that we define it, I wonder if there's a shared acceptance of the flexibility within that plan, or if that's something that I don't know, that we just really need to be conscious about communicating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the imperative, I think, is communicating the plan, understanding it, communicating to anybody we're leading, and I mean that's the essence of it. So, I think, matter of fact, let's pick it up next time with communication and how effectively we're communicating. In the meantime, we have enlightening conversations on Facebook. If you're enjoying these conversations, join us. Join us on Facebook. You know, we're
We'd love
actually
to hear
doing
from
this.
you.
We're doing this via many social media channels. But again, it's a blessing for me to be here with Richard and Elena, and who knows who else is going to join the conversation next time.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
Thank you, Elena.